Hey team, Browncoat from Koru-Cottage here, and I'm bringing you a review this week for the Crew 2 from Ubisoft. Arcade racer, open world. It's basically the closest thing we're going to get for PS4 users to the brilliant Horizon series, which is obviously an Xbox exclusive. Unfortunately though, I'm going to put it out front, it doesn't boast the quality or the depth that the Horizon series has. It's an open world game, and open worlds are make and break by what's in them. And look, it's pretty, it's an attractive world to be in. There is a lot of pop in though, but the mix of city, rural and wilderness leads to some pretty cool gameplay environments to experience. That said, there's not a lot of incentive to explore. You can go out, cruise around, earn followers, basically it's XP, I'll explain that later on, for doing actions like near miss or just doing stunts in aircraft, that sort of thing. But the actual incentive for going out and just cruising around, aside from maybe teaming up with mates and just going for a bit of a cruise, there's no real gain by going out and doing just cruising around the open world. There's not a lot to discover. What I would say though is the Crew has got one of the most enjoyable mechanics I've struck in a kind of vehicle racing game in I don't know how long, and that's the changing on the fly from 3 different vehicle types. You can go from plane to car to boat and back to plane seamlessly, and it's cool. It just doesn't get old. Like, it's mint. You cruise along a river and then you go, oh, I might go for a fly, change into a plane, away you go. It's awesome. The disciplines within the game are split into pretty predictable sort of elements. You've got street racing, and then there's off-road, which includes bikes, trucks and buggies. There's boats, which is split into sort of open ocean racing, and then sprint jet boats, which is a favourite of mine, and then planes, which is speed and stunts. Later on, you can open up monster trucks and Formula 1 and drifting, and I gotta say some of those elements aren't as well developed as the main disciplines of the game. Story wise, there isn't one. Thankfully it's not too intrusive. You get a bit of hipster chatter at the start of a discipline explaining what you have to do, and a little bit more at the start of what is like one of the main events. Just skip it and move on. It's just rubbish. Ubisoft have not gone to great depths to give a good story or good dialogue, so just ignore it. The overall goal of the game is to get followers, which is essentially XP, as I alluded to before. You get XP, and that opens up events as you level up. During those events you earn bucks, and you spend that on basically everything: vehicles, skins, clothes, all that sort of stuff. And at the end of races you get loot drops, and those loot drops go directly to your vehicles, so you can level up gearbox, brakes, all that sort of stuff, and that just increases the power level of your vehicle to make it better for the next lot of races, so you can compete in that next rank up of races. So essentially it's a kind of like a MMO CarPG is the term that has been chucked around. As far as those sort of bits of equipment, you don't get to tune them or tweak them. They don't really mean a lot to you. The only thing that's important is just the number in the top corner. Bang it on your boat or your car or your plane, and it just levels you up, and it just increases the stats carte blanche. Once you've completed sort of the majority of the races, you have to really start grinding previous races to try and get better gear so your vehicles level up. And it becomes a loot grind. Like, it's a loot grind game for vehicles. So if you're not into that, which, you know, I gotta be frank, I'm not, it wears pretty thin. Really, the game itself is fun. Some of the disciplines are better developed than others. I really enjoyed the planes. I thought they were great fun. The jet sprint boats, great fun. Some of the car racing is good, but then there's some real problems with it as well. So if you look at just the racing particularly, the AI rubber banding is horrendous. Like, I haven't struck a game in years with rubber banding this bad. You could have a 5-6 second lead, and then all of a sudden the AI is right up around you. The motorbike's control, as a dirt bike rider myself in real life, the controls for that are just ridiculous. It's best in first person, but even though it's just this mishmash, washout, slide around, not even close to what it like riding a dirt bike. And one of my major complaints is that there's no rewind feature. Like, we've had rewind features in some pretty top-end racing games, because the frustration of blasting through an open world, hitting a fence, blowing through it, and then you hit another fence which looks slightly different, and all of a sudden that's a barrier and you stop dead in your tracks. You've lost that entire race. There's nowhere to rewind or reset and still keep on racing. And in a game where races can be 5-6 minutes long, majority, there is a 1 or 2 much longer races, but majority 5 or 6 minutes, you've completely washed out your race and you've just got to abort and start again because of one wee mistake. And in my opinion, it's all based around poor level design and poor destructible environment design. Anyway, I won't go on too long, but all I want to sum up is say is the game is really fun, but it's frustrating at the same time. It caters to all sorts of game types. You've got planes, bikes, cars, whatever, and it does them all, but it does them all pretty poorly. There's better games out there. I would say if you can't get Horizon, go look at the Burnout series, something like that. If you want to really experience a good quality arcade racer with an open world element. What I've put at the title of my video is it's a jack of all trades but master of none, and that's kind of what the game is. It's really good at bringing a variety and an open world and a bit of a playground, but none of them control particularly well, and the overall experience sort of lacks a bit of depth. And I'm not even going to wade into the fact that it doesn't have PvP. Like, there's no way to race other people online. Apparently that's coming in December, but for a game to ship without it, it's a racing game and you can't race other people. You can just share the open world. To me, that's a strange omission. So anyway, keep an eye out on Koru-Cottage for other coverage, and if you like what I did, give us a like. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and I'll keep making stuff. Alright, thanks very much. Bye.